Well, good morning, everyone. I hope you are having, or good afternoon, I should say. I hope you're having a great day. Let's go ahead and make sure you all can hear me. If you would please type the number 1 in the chat box in the comment section to let me know that you can, I would greatly appreciate it. I can hear you. I can hear you. Morning, Jim. Gary, good morning. Helen, Kevin. Thank you, Amy. Morning, Roman. All right, Roman, there's a magic question. What'd you do today? What'd you do on Amazon today? I got mine. All right. Roman said, I am in. Me too. Quite a bit, actually. But good afternoon, Kevin and Kevin. Still morning there, Jeff. I got you. At least another hour, I guess, today. 2 hours, right? 2 hours for you today? Maybe it's 3. I never remember. 3 hours. Okay. I know you do make one change, or we make a change, and you don't make a change. And all right. We've got a good sized group here today. Welcome after our 3-day weekend last week, which we didn't do Power Hour. A little bit of an announcement. We will in the future, if we are closed on a Monday, we are going to shift to a Tuesday to do Power Hour on a Tuesday instead of on a Monday for that week. So I'll have to remember, you'll have to remember, we'll all have to make sure to make it work. We're going to do it for a Tuesday instead of a Monday. All right. As we get in here this morning, keep in mind that everything we look at is for educational purposes only. Nothing is meant to be advice or recommendations, right? We got a lot of stuff happening this week. Trading You coming up on the 9th, which I am teaching at this week. The 9th is Thursday. Next week, Tony's doing Patterns in a Flash, One Trade Away Challenge Q&A. Oh, what is this, Rob? For every one of you, and I know there's at least 50 of you that are in here that were in One Trade Away Challenge. For everyone that was in One Trade Away Challenge before or are in now, this was for you. This was something I talked with the team the other day. I've got a neighbor of mine, Joe. He grew up here. He's moved out. He lives on his own now, but he was visiting his parents. And we were talking a little bit. He had some questions. He's in the One Trade Away Challenge now. So I thought that we would do a live Q&A to try to help you guys with any and all questions that you may have. Let me just move my video around. It's messing me up when I see things moving there. Any questions you might have about the markets, I'll do a little bit of teaching there as well. And if you can't make it live, understandable. You do what you got to do. You got to do you, right? But I will make sure that we get this thing logged and locked into our members area as well, so that you'll have the recorded version of it also. Right? Inner Circle is coming up in June. Brandon is teaching this event in June. It's the 24th and 25th. It's a Friday, Saturday at 4 hours each day. Mastermind group, of course, each Tuesday night. Power option plays, Covered Call Explorer, E-mini, all on their regular schedule, as is our Pop 3, right? You got Power Hour, you got Trading Coaches Playbook, and Market Mornings are all on schedule for the rest of this week and into next week. All right? Beautiful. And here is our follow us page. Make sure you are following on the various social platforms that we're out there with. This week, there's a little bit lighter content creation because Sean is on vacation, although he did schedule some stuff out. But make sure that you get following along, so when he does get back, you can rock on like Dr. Kong with everything that we put out there. Amen, Jim. Today is June 6th. 78 years ago, men around the world stormed Normandy. Thank you for those men for our freedom. Absolutely. Without a doubt. I think we need to celebrate those types of things all the time. Absolutely all the time. So thanks for the reminder of that, Jim. All right, so what trades did you do? Drop them in. I want to see what trades you did today. Funded, non-funded, doesn't make a difference. Made money, broke even, cost you something. I don't care. Drop those trades in. Let's see what the day looked like today, right? I'll share what I did, and we'll go take a look at what Amelia's got. So the great freebies, guys, you're going to see a lot of emails and such. You're going to hear a lot over the next couple of days on this. There's a ton of free content that we have that's out there. You all need to make sure that you're taking advantage of what's out there, whether it's Fibonacci's, whether it's coming here to Power Hour, whether it is Coach's Playbook, other free trainings that we've put together. You're going to start seeing some videos on that, or some emails rather on that. Now, I'm going to give you a warning. Google has recently done an update, and it is showing the website comes up as a dangerous site. It's not a dangerous site. There's 0 on it. Switch over to Firefox, switch over to Safari, switch over to any Edge, any other browser. It works just fine. There's no malicious code in there. I spent 3 hours with our web developer, and to the point that I talked with him again today. And it literally is, we're waiting for the next Google update to come out to fix it. It's only here in the US. We've not seen it in Canada. We've not, at least not where we've checked in Canada. We've not seen it in Asia. We've not seen it in a couple of places in Europe. We've not seen it in the Philippines or in India. I mean, all over, we've not seen it. It's only here in the US that it's really become prevalent, right? So if you happen to see that, just switch to another browser and life is good. All right. Oh, so we want to see your trades. What did you guys drop in there? Let's see. All right. Gary said VFC sold the put for the Wheel of Fortune. Very nice. Very, very nice. No trades for me, Brenda said. Okay. Thank you, Amy, for dropping that in and tradinglikeaboss.com. So let's go and look at what Amelia's gotten here today. Right. And we've got here a bull call debit spread, just that it is a debit spread where she paid to enter into the trade. This was done on Apple. Apple had good news coming out today, or has news out today. And it's their World Conference is the Developers Conference starts today. Right. So we looked at a trade strategy, a setup on Apple this morning in the pre-market show, in the market morning show. But what did Amelia do? So let's look what's going on here, 9:31 and 9:50. So less than 20 minutes in and out of this trade. She does 3 contracts of each. So it's a vertical spread where she bought to open and sold to open. Apple, the 147, 148. So, there's a dollar bid ask, a dollar of the increments, rather not bid ask, dollar increments in there right now. And she spent 48 cents out of her pocket in order to take on this trade, right? That's her cost in the trade. Less than 20 minutes later, 19 minutes later, she went ahead and closed that position out. She got paid back 76 cents, which was, what are we talking about there? 48, 58, 68, 78, 28 cents in premium in 19 minutes, which was 58%. Now, I know some of you sitting there going, but Rob, it's 28 cents. Big freaking deal. Man, that's, if I did only one contract, it's 28 bucks. First off, you're in the trade for 19 minutes. Okay. So that's the first thing you've got to do. You see, your brokerage account where you're buying and holding a stock for the year, for the decade, whatever it is. If you bought a $100 stock, right? $100 stock is what you paid for it. And let's say that stock went up to $120, right? So if we had cash in our pocket was $20 divided by 365 days, you're talking about 1/2% for the year. If that's what it went up by 20 bucks, 20, right? You're talking about less than 1/2% per day. Okay. 20% for the year, right? 20% is a great number, but you're talking about 1/2% for holding on the entire year. Look what we're talking about right here. 58% for the day. And it's not the day, is it? Because if you take this, it's okay. Let's go ahead and take 6.5 times 60 minutes. So there's 390 trading minutes a day. Okay. If we divide that by 19, that gives us 20. We'll call it 20. Easy math. Gives us 20 pockets of 19 minutes each. Okay. So if you were able to make, or take this number 20.52 and multiply it by 0.58, you're talking about 1,100% for the day. Is that right? 1,100% for the day, right? Annualize that 58% out and tell me how bad it is. Guys, you are kicking tail. And if $28 doesn't do it for you, realize something. You needed $48 to make the 28. That's it. Could you have done a second contract, a third, 10, 50? Yes, you could do more if the dollar amount doesn't work for you, right? Don't look at hitting a lot of home runs. I need you on base, and I need you there over and over and over again. I said it this morning in Market Mornings. We had our meeting today, which ran into 9:30. I knew it would. And as soon as the trade station bell went off, I said, guys, hold on. And you heard order filled, right? That was me placing an order today. I'll tell you who it was in a moment. Let's see if some of y'all can guess who it was. But that was me placing an order today, right at the open. A few minutes later, Amelia's talking, order filled, right? Lisa's talking, order filled. Stan is talking, order filled, right? I was in multiple trades today in a 5 or 7 minute span. And my very first trade of the day was done before the market even opened. I left Market Mornings at 9:02. And by 9:05, I had already placed my first trade of the day, right? Before the market even opened. Yes, order filled. Yes, Brenda, absolutely. You got it, Jim. That's who it was. Brenda said, awesome, Amelia. I'll take 58% in 19 minutes. Gap is about to fill on the cues. Good job, Brenda. Good job. Anybody else want to guess who that stock was that I traded this morning? Who is the number one, literally the number one retailer out there in the world today? Right? That's who we traded. Right? Amazing Amazon. Now it's down a little bit from where it was, right? Had a nice gap up, right? The last two bars, right as we were getting started here, we had big pullbacks in there, okay? I have long positions on Amazon. I have covered positions on Amazon. I have naked positions on Amazon. I have the equity on Amazon, right? I believe that the opportunity Amazon is presenting right now can be tremendous. Does that mean it's going up? Absolutely not. There's no guarantee that it's going up. Absolutely not. This is brand new territory for everybody, right? Never explored before. 20 years, major stock, thousands of dollars, never split before, and they do a 20-for-1 right out of the gate. They're not Microsoft that did 2-for-1, 2-for-1, 2-for-1. Oh, 4-for-1, right? That's not what this was. Or Dell, right? If you worked for Dell when Michael Dell first started it, and you had the lowest position in the company, they paid you the least amount of money for an hour per hour when you worked there. And if you stayed there for the next 10 or 15 years, do you know what they called you after that time period? Besides sir or ma'am, right? You were a Dellionaire, because of everybody got shares and everybody's shares split and split and split and went up, split and went up, split and went up, split and went up. Right? You had one share on Friday, and today you now have 20 shares, about the same dollar value, right? But this is unprecedented what we're dealing with. And actually, the good thing here is this is giving us a preview into what could happen, not will, could happen with Google and with Tesla, who have the same type of splits coming up in the near future. Let's see. Roman said back in the days on this move, it would be a fortune in day trading. Yeah, and the difference, Roman, is companies like a Microsoft, a Dell, they didn't go from average float out there to big blue chip overnight. Well, that's what Amazon did. They went right to big blue chip overnight. The Amazon trade today, the setups I did, are some of them weekly trades? Absolutely. But the equity that I bought, folks, that's long term. I mean, I could have went out and sold the 110 calls I was able to get for this week. I think it was 30 or 40 cents. I don't remember. I did not sell that call. It was 30 or 40 cents I could have got for this week, right? For the 110s, and it opened up at 125, right? Like I said, I even bought some in pre-market, right? It's the highest price one that I paid for. Brenda said, chances are Amazon's gap might fill as well. Absolutely, Brenda. Absolutely. It's not a real gap, but absolutely it could fill just the same. Right? Yeah, you were a Dellionaire is what they called you, Jim. Multi-millionaire. Right? Multi-millionaire. Amazon has some opportunity. Does that mean it's going up from here? It doesn't, folks. You've got to make your own decisions. I said it right in the very beginning with the disclaimer. You've got to decide if this is the right trade for you. You know, Sean is on vacation this week, and I texted him and said, hey, Amazon is splitting today. Are you in? And he goes, oh my God, I've avoided Amazon. I thought it was because of the price. He said, I thought it was next week. And he messaged me back and goes, all right, I'm in. Thanks for letting me know. I bought some of my IRA, right? Which again is longer term. I did some of my IRA, some of my non-IRA, some of my wife's accounts. Right. And I'm waiting. I've got more cash in other accounts that I'm waiting this week. In my TOS account, I'll probably put some on. But I just want to see Amazon kind of settle out for a day or two. Now, if we keep getting this stair-step climb, beautiful, then I know what I've got to do. If we pull back a little bit, then I'm going to look for some technical areas. But right now, our charts are not effectively showing us any technical areas, right? Because all we have is kaplunk. That's it. We go from 2,500 to 125. That was it. Overnight, boom, right? Straight down. I need something technical to bounce me in there. And if I hit the letter U, nothing happens. Right? You can see the circle spinny thing at the crosshair, but nothing's happening there. And that's because they haven't adjusted historical prices yet, hopefully after tonight's close. they'll be able to do that. If we look at the daily chart of Amazon on TradeStation, and by the way, TradeStation is running horribly slow today, horribly slow. I can't get nothing to move on it, actually. That's how flipping slow she's going. But you can see that they've already adjusted some prices in there, right, on the daily chart. Everything is brought back. So gap, there really is no gap when you look at it this way. Yeah, and I'm still using 9.5, Jim. So maybe it did it on 10. Mine didn't do an update. It did kind of smack me around a little bit starting off. For sure. It did. It played some games, but without a doubt. So Roman said, draw of Fibonacci looks good. Yeah, I can't get the daily chart to give me anything, Roman, right now. That's the bad thing. Oh, there we go. Finally moved, right? Finally moved. So if we draw right about in there, we're sitting just above the 382, right? The 50 takes us up to 130.5. But folks, there's a lot of opportunity on Amazon in their options. Lots of opportunity. Okay. Let's not have all. Let's just go to 20 just to make it easy to see, right, visibly. So stocks trading at 124 right now. Look at the strike prices, 22 3/4, 23, 23 1/4, half, 3/4, 4. There's tons. We go to all. It's like a plethora. Look at this. I go down, page down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now I get to the out of the money options on the call side, right? 6, 7, 8, 9 times I got to hit the down arrow, the page down feature to get to the end of the option chain. Okay. So, and look at I was talking about this with my team before. I mean, look at some of the volumes that we're looking at in here. Still high deltas, right? 6,000, 7,000, 2,000, 7,000, 63,000 contracts volume today. It had 1,493 open interest, 63,000, 17,000. There's been tremendous movement, 24,000 on the puts, right? Tremendous open interest. I mean, volume on these positions today. Just huge. 31,000, 30,000, 30,000, 166,000 calls at the 130 strike price. 166,000 contracts, right? That expired this Friday. Nice. Right. If you had 3 calls, Trader Will, it's now 60 contracts you had. If you had 3 contracts, you now have 60. If you had 1 contract, you now have 20. All right. Roman said, if you make it like it was in pop from 145.91, it's at 5%. Yeah. Yeah. They're not doing any updates on mine, Jim. Exactly. Let's see. So Kevin said his wife did the same thing with Medtronics. Yeah. It's just split after split after split, right? It's wonderful. DMI has crossed to the upside on the ADX. Brenda said, yeah, but so Brenda, I'm going to reserve a lot of technical indicators for the time being, because although they back adjusted prices to historically what they would have been had there never been a split, we literally went from 2,400 and change down to 125. So that gap down, yes, we curved all of the historically all of the indicators, but I don't know. I don't trust that they're accurate because it really wasn't that price. It just pretend it was this price. This is what it would have looked like, right? So there's my kind of rub on that. So I'm a little bit leery when it comes to that type of thing. All right, but Amazon. Great trade today. Let's see what you guys had put in, or you actually had put your trades in. I haven't seen any more come through. So, all right. So we're good. Good, 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 good. Will, did you pick anything up? Anybody else pick anything up on Amazon today? I knew Roman was doing it. We talked about it at our last Inner Circle meeting, which was in May. It was in May. We talked about it in May of what was going on, what we were looking to do, trade setups and all of that type of stuff. But anybody else that did anything on Amazon today? Karen said, I bought some stock out of the gate to ride it up. Amazon naked puts 122 for $1.70. John said, excellent. Yeah, Will said, nope, been slammed at work. I get it. There'll be plenty of opportunities on Amazon. Plenty of opportunity. Even now, he said, I'm on a biz call now. Okay. Okay, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, Amelia, great job on the trade. Those of you that did get some trades in there today, awesome. Love it. Right? Linda said, I guess I posted too long ago. I may not have seen it, Linda. It's possible. They fly by sometimes. I bought a little Amazon stock and I did one contract at the Facebook, one contract Facebook trade for up $110. Good job. Excellent. Nice. I love it. All right. So let's talk about elections and market momentum. Well, we've definitely seen some momentum behind the market today, right? Without a doubt, we've got some momentum going on. But are the elections going to play havoc? And if so, how? And the answer is maybe, right? And when I say maybe, it's my magic ball doesn't extend out to November to the midterm elections to know what's going to happen in between there. What's going on with inflation rate? What's going on with interest rates? What's going on with unemployment, right? What's going on with the solar type, renewable type energy that the government is working so hard to ram down our throats when we don't have it ready yet. Oh, we're going to be ready for flying cars, so you got to get rid of your regular car now. Wait, we don't have flying cars yet, right? We don't have a nationwide plan for fully sustainable energy that we're ready to run right now. But we're cutting on the other end, and this whole crap about, well, inflation is 7.5%. Really? Then why is gas at 100%? You can't come up to me with this number. You get meat is up 30% plus, right? Someone that I know went into a dealership to buy a car. Sticker price was $31,000 or something like that, right? They sat down, hour and a half later, they did the turnover, they brought the manager in, they get all this stuff in there. They come back with the final paperwork, hour and a half later, whatever he said it was, and the car is like $10,000 more, not the tax, the base price, $10,000 more. And he goes, wait a second. He literally goes over to the car and tears the sticker off the window and said, what happened to that price? He said, oh, things have gone up. From an hour ago? No, they're just higher than they were. Should you change your stickers? Doesn't matter. We're going to sell at this price. What about negotiating? He said, yeah, we don't negotiate. The guy behind you is waiting for the same car. So they're going to buy it. It's not like we need you to buy it today. Everything has gone up so much. You can't tell me that we're truly at 7.5%. It is such an out and outright lie, right? And the government doesn't want to back down now and say, well, let's go ahead back to some of the gas stuff we did because we were wrong with putting that in place and costing you all of this money. They're trying to blame who? The energy producers. It's not the energy producers. It's not. Did Russia affect it? Without a doubt. Russia definitely came in and had an effect on it. But double our price? Sorry, not the case. Gas had already started going up well before Russia stepped in to any of that garbage whatsoever, right? Here's the thing, though. I do believe that there will be a shift in leadership in one of the, in somewhere in the midterm elections, whether it's in the House, Senate. There's going to be a shift in there, I believe. That doesn't mean I'm right, right? If there is a shift in one of the leaderships there, that basically means that right now we've got too much fighting. There is no interwoven connection. Bipartisanship is such a word that they speak it out of one side of their mouth and throw up out of the other because of how they're lying about it. There is no bipartisanship right now. It's an us against them type mentality, and that's what it is, straightforward. I want what I want, and I don't care, right? Period, the end. Give me what I want. Well, that's just going to get worse. It's going to get worse. What it would stop is if Republicans did take over one of those two, you will have no need for bipartisanship because there won't be any. You would literally have a dead duck or lame duck president that would have no control whatsoever, right? And I'm not saying that's a good thing for the country. do the markets like seeing the money that's being spent right now? Guys, listen, it all depends where you're at in life. If you're making $35,000 a year and you're sitting on $40,000 of school debt, should the government help you where possible? Absolutely. If you're married and filing jointly making $300,000 a year and both of you have student debt, you can remove $10,000 each from your debt. Really? And then I, who never incurred student debt, have to pay for it? Because then the government's not just going to tear the paper up and say, surprise, bank, you lost the money, right? Someone's coming back and they're going to have to pay for it, right? What's going to happen as far as momentum-wise goes, I think it all has to come down to, it will all come down to what's going to happen with all these other factors. What's going on with Russia and Ukraine? Look, we're walking out the door yesterday and we see something that Russia bombed something and it blew up a nuclear plant and they did it on purpose. And it was nuclear terrorism. They were calling it on the one news channel my wife had on. It's like insanity what we're dealing with right now. Insanity, right? Inflation, all of these things, gas prices, are people going to be able to afford what they want? Companies like Tesla saying, hey, come back to the office or don't come back at all. Right? And that's not the worker. They're already working at the office. They're building cars in the shop. They're not building cars at their home. That's the office worker. Come back to work or you don't have a job, right? Plain and simple, okay? So when you look at the crypto companies out there that are putting or extending hiring freezes, right? Coinbase was one of them. They extended the hiring freeze, right, on their, for their staffing, as they came out and announced it the same day as Tesla, right? All of these things play into it. Where are we in the next few months with some of this will determine what's going on. What you really need to be doing, you truly need to be doing, is you need to step back. I don't know why this is not starting. Oh, it looks like my Omega chart's shut down. That's interesting. So let's just go here. You need to look at the S&P 500, right? Omega charts are starting. Some of let it start up so I don't mess anything up. You need to look at the S&P 500 from a position 1 in the chair. You need to be back here and you need to look at the big picture of what's going on. You need to take into account the factors that can have or play havoc on it and make a decision from there what you see taking place, right? So for many of you, right, you are it. You are your only line of defense to figuring out what to do in your portfolios. Your brokers aren't going to be much help normally, right? That's not what they're there for any longer. They're not there telling you to buy these things. And even when they were there telling you to buy them, most of them weren't doing it for their benefits. They were doing it for your benefit. It was for their benefit, the company, the firm's benefit, right? You need to look at S&P 500 from a standpoint of what is going on in it, right? And then start looking at some of the other factors. Where is the fear? Where's VIX? Right? What's going on with this? What's going on with that? With the war, with inflation, with unemployment, with so many of these factors, with payroll. What's happening there and how is it affecting what's going on? And that will lead itself into the market. I think the best thing you can do right now is shorten your time frame. I'm not talking about the investing cycle. That's totally different. If you're that buy and hold and you're buying on dips, you go for it. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I do the same type of thing. Right? I bought a lot of stock in the last little while now, right? I'm not opposed to any of that, okay? If you're an investor, as a trader, picking very long-term time frames, horizons, is a problem when you look at this 1 day up, 2 days down, one big day up, 1 day down, right? And then we go back and add today in there, and today is going to bring it to an update, right? It's over and over and over and over and over again. Right? So shorten that time frame and update that's pulled back, right? Shorten that time frame up. And by the way, where are we bouncing off of? The 4181, this fib line right here. Shorten up your time frame, focus on what's going on in the markets, and get involved. Folks, I wish that I had a power hour when I first started. I wish there was market mornings Monday through Friday when I started. I wish I had 3 major key coaches: Brandon, Ryan, Tony. Every third week, one of them is teaching coaches playbook that I could step in there and ask the questions. Right? What about this? What about that? Look at this stock for me. I am in crazy land sometimes when I see wherever we are, when I'll ask for a stock and I get 3 people give me symbols to look at. Listen, I'm good. If you're not looking to trade today, that's fine. To me, yeah, these are the 4 I'm looking at for today. Trip will put his 3 symbols in that he's looking at, right? Over and over and over again. The Trip Trio, right? We'll just hear the same numbers week after week after week, or symbols rather, not numbers, symbols, right? To me, you need to take advantage of that stuff, right? You need to get involved, whether you're in Brandon's E-mini, whether you're in power option plays, you need to get involved. All the freebie stuff, you should take all of it. It's free. Take it. It's there to help you. We've got free Fibonacci training. I love when I get a message from somebody that says, can you go over on how to use fibs? And the team will message them back that says, did you watch Rob's free training? No. Well, here's the link. Go watch this free training. It's an hour long. Go watch this on how to set up and use your fibs, right? A lot of opportunities there, folks, but you really need to focus. Focus is the word. You really need to focus. Let's see. PK said, market mornings Friday, you said to ask questions on Power Hour about pivots. On Thursday, your entry on SPY was a bounce off of your proprietary pivot at 1030, 407.50, which was slightly above the pivot. On TOS, the SVE pivots were 405.58. On the pivot studies, the closest to pivots, 405.67. Is that there that much difference between your proprietary pivots and those? Well, so, okay, first thing, PK, is the ones that I share with you are not the proprietary. The ones I have in Omega charts are proprietary. That is ones that I have developed, and we have made an adjustment to the pivot itself. But if you remember, I also said to go ahead and focus on the regular pivots. Don't go looking at Camilla pivots and Woody pivots and the other half a dozen proprietary ones that are out there. Floor traders are not using Woody and Camilla. They're using standard traditional floor pivots, right? Floor trader pivots. So focus on those. Most companies are taking advantage of the word inflation, price gouging the heck out of the consumer. Yes, without a doubt. We went to a restaurant, we paid, we got the check, and every item was a higher price than the menu. My wife questioned. They said, "Yeah, prices have gone up." What do you have it in the menu? No, not yet, but we're working on that. And the owner told us we haven't changed the menus because they're going to go up again. Now they didn't tell us prices have gone up. But hey, this place brings you free wine. They bring you free pizza. They bring you free Zeppeli. They're awesome. But Roman said, yes, it happened to me like 2 months ago. They said they would charge $10K extra for a chip shortage. Yeah, there you go. So I haven't bought my wife a new car. She wants a Range Rover. That my daughter looked it up. It was $94,000 for the Range Rover. Jeff said, my brother works for a Ford dealership, not moving on pricing at all. Oh, no. My daughter's car is a Ford, older one. It's a Ford. And it broke down. Her transmission is broke. They told me, we've got one tranny guy, 13 cars in front of you. Don't call us. I mean, not even call the check-in. Don't call us. The second we know something, we'll call you, but it could be months before we get the car back to you. Months. Right? So my wife said, we should buy an extra car. Not today, we shouldn't. Not in this marketplace. Leslie said, I asked the woman at Walmart if they honored the price on the shelf. She said, no. It tells me they do not have enough employees to change all of the stickers, and they just don't care. Yep, I agree. Yeah. So Brendan said, it's bad for people to refuse to see what the truth is and accept what it is. Hey, Robert, or you already paid. If you already paid off your student debt, slap in the face, to say the least. Right. I said it last week. The CEO or president of Duke, I think it was, Purdue Duke, it was one of them, said that 40 or 60% of all their students come out with no debt. Now, I understand it's a higher income school, but there are still students that have debt that go to that school. Not everybody is wealthy that goes there, right? How do you tell that student that busted their butt? My daughter's boyfriend, he worked in a restaurant as a waiter full-time while putting himself through nursing school full-time, no financial help from his parents, came out of school with no debt whatsoever. How do you tell him, hey, you did great, you could please pay somebody else's debt off now? I'm going to move to the moon. Let's see. Kevin, you guys are the best. So much information. God bless you and all you do. Thanks, Rob. You're welcome, Kevin. I appreciate that. False advertising. A lawyer would love that suit. Yeah, Jim, I hear you, but now you got to go fight it, you know? And the lawyer's going to want a fee up front. Shane said, what program would you recommend with an account of 7 figures that you offer in your business? So I guess the question, Shane, and I think I know who this is because, oh, you know what? Let me see if I do this. Yep, there we go. Okay. I had to pull out to the right. My chat box was small, so it cut the last name off, but I saw the first 2 letters, Shane. So I thought I knew who you were. And I remember what you do, right? So, listen, Power Option Plays has an amazing opportunity inside of there, right? It's a tool, and that's what it is, right? But in reality, how do I say this the right way? In reality, the tool by itself is awesome, but with where you're at, Shane, you need to be beyond that. You need to be looking at one of our mastermind, and you probably, not everybody, most know, you probably qualify for Inner Circle now. Most do not. Okay, most cannot get there, right? So Roman, Inner Circle, Will, Inner Circle. I'm not sure who else is here because I haven't seen a lot of comments from others. I don't know. I'm sure if Robert is here or David is here. What are your thoughts on Inner Circle? Okay. Yeah, there you go. There's Will. I knew you were here, Will. I know you got your business thing going on there. Amy did drop in a link to Power Option Plays, guys, by the way. But if you go to the homepage, right, to our new homepage, right, newly designed. Roman said, unlimited growth as a professional trader. Shane, we're talking about 3 days a week. There's a proprietary trading room just for the Inner Circle people. It is hosted by Amelia every single day, right? Here, if you go to the homepage, right, Experienced Trader Shane is where you are. Click on that, right? There's Roman, there's Will, Tom, Robert, right? You know, just set yourself up on a conversation with my team to see if what will work best for you, and they'll be able to do a much better job for you, Shane, than I can here effectively. Trader Will said, Inner Circle and the support has been a life group financially and emotionally. Right. And Amy dropped the link in there. If you're not seeing what to see on this homepage here and you just want to go ahead and send an email, Shane, we can do that as well. But if you click on the link, you can get right into a calendar and we'll get you set up with one of my team and they'll walk you through some of the different things that are in there. Just let them know what I mentioned and we'll get you kind of going there. All right. So, but folks, following along a process, a system, I'm going to take this video down because it just gets a little bit much as you're trying to teach, right? Following a process in the system, focus on what the S&P is doing, focus on what your stock is doing, on what the market's doing, the news is doing, are all going to make a huge, huge difference. Yeah, so PK said on Thursday, the TOS pivot studies were close to $2 off of where the candle closed as compared to yours closing right at the pivot. And that's just it. It is the pivots that I use are the regular ones. I don't know the TOS ones. I know everybody says to use the SVE pivots, good, bad, or indifferent. I can't say because I don't use them. I use what's here on TradeStation. You're welcome, Shane. And that link that she dropped in, guys, Amy, I shouldn't do that. She dropped in. That Amy dropped in is for anybody that thinks that they have an interest. Which, by the way, we have a one-day live training for anybody that's in Mastermind and or Inner Circle in New York coming up in the end of October, 29th, I think, the last Friday of the month, right, in New York, okay? If you hang around a couple of days, you get to see Halloween in New York, which is pretty awesome. But, you know, keep that in mind that that's something that is there as well, right? That live event, which is proprietary for Mastermind / Inner Circle, all right? Beautiful. All right, so yeah, Robert said TOS has 4 different pivot studies. Yeah, and the ones that come back all the time that I remember, Robert, is SVE is the better ones. All right, so Brenda's already jumped in. Let me know the symbols that you want me to take a look at, and I will be glad to do so. Now, keep something in mind. There is a difference of saying, look at Micron, right? I don't know the context of what you're thinking when you put that in. If you're willing to take the extra 1 minute, 2 minutes, whatever it takes you to one finger type, find the next key and type again, however long it takes you, if you're willing to take that extra 1 or 2 minutes and give me the trading plan. I don't need a lot of details. Pull back to this level and a bounce, breakout trade, moving average cross, failure on the fib, zero line breakout, whatever it is. Give me your plan. Multiple things happen. First off, it puts you in a much different place than Micron or AMD or IBM or Apple or Google or whomever. You've got something you're looking at that you're formulating of what you're planning to do. So you're solidifying that in your head. If you do take that trade, you're solidifying. Number two, if you tell me I'm bullish on this and I come back and go, well, wait a second, I'm not liking what this chart shows. We had two candidates this morning in market mornings where the stock had been on a massive downturn. Now, all I got was symbols, so I really couldn't tell them what to do, but one of them was a $4 and change stock. What do? Well, if you think it's going to bounce from there and you're jumping in early, then I said take a small portion of high risk capital and put it in there. But I wouldn't be putting a lot of money in there. But if you give me the plan, I know better what to look at, what to do. All right. Okay, so let's see. So Jim said SPX on high on 6.2 was 41.7751. That is $3.49 away from the fib number 41.81. Amazing. Yep. So if we look at 6.2, which is right here. Actually, let me get you a little bit. We don't want that big of view, right? So let's do that there. Okay, there we go. So 6.2 is this day here. Guys, as we played a lot from the upside on 41.81. Then we came back to it, hit it from the downside, ran up, came back to it again, and that was the extent of it. We were gone, right? We were gone for a whole month and a half, whatever it was. We're getting closer here on the end of May, the 27th to 28th was right there. I mean, the 31st was right there. The first we were there. The second we crushed it. We're back close to it again today. We are in a channel right now between that 100-point level, right? That 4,100 and the 41.81. We're in a channel right now between those two levels. Critical. So what is this telling me? Guys, if you look at this and say, I want to go long, I'm telling you, I'm doing this. I'm in position one in the chair because I have nothing here that's telling me the market is saying go long. Now, but Rob, the 8 crossed through the 21, so we're neutral, but we can take a bullish trade, but an aggressive trade, right? Yes, you can. Absolutely. So I think this is the place. You see, there's the word. You think. The market's not giving us an indication yet. You're kind of jumping in ahead of the curve. And if that's how you want to trade it, there's nothing wrong with that. But guess what? Take a small portion of a trade. When I did the pre-market trade this morning, I didn't do anywhere near as much shares as I wanted to do. Right? I did more than double that in the open market today. Once we opened up, right? 2 different times I took another entry. Right? And I missed one when I was in my meeting. I was talking and never set an alarm, and I missed an entry as well on a breakout. So let's see what we've got here. All right, so drop your symbols in, folks. Brenda asked about the Qs. So let's see what the Qs are giving us. Gee, kind of looks like the S&P 500. 9 to 24. So it's actually 10 to 24, 14. Let's tighten this up. We don't need that big. Yeah, so we don't need a fib in there. We're good to go, right? So right now we're sitting at 17. Oh, actually, let's see, 293 to 10, 17. Yeah, we don't need a fib in there either. So it's not really a fibit right here with the 300 level, but it is a midpoint. We broke down, Brenda, but what's the problem? The 8 and 21 moving average, they're there. They're in a good position. They're just a little hard for me to jump in when they're that far away. Actually, we are below the 25%. So on the 8. So I'm really not interested at anything right now as far as directional trade goes. It very much becomes a higher risk trade when we're that far away with our moving average. And what I'm referring to is the location of these moving averages to the fib line. We're just a little bit further away than I want to be, okay? So if we could push back up and retest and fail, great, but what is that doing for us? See what's happening, Brenda? We are respecting that 21 over and over and over again. So I'm a little leery until we either break out above our zero line, right, which takes us at 309.65, right, or we fail, get our moving averages up a little bit higher, fail and get below there and look at it there. But it's a tough place with where it's sitting right now. Right, and Brenda said I'm in position number 1 for the Qs. Okay, there you go. There you go. Kevin said, can we look at LTHM? Kevin, we didn't look at this morning, did we? I don't remember the chart, but the symbol sounds familiar. Unless I looked at it, and it's very possible it came up in news and I looked at it and just discounted. No, we didn't. It's okay. I don't know if it came up in news and I discounted it today. But for some reason, I thought I looked at this one. So let me just put this back over here. Okay. Beautiful. All right. So we're looking at a $29 stock, almost $30 stock. Kevin, I would love to see the close up near about that 30 and a quarter, 30 and a half level, a pullback to the 29.82 and a bounce. The only bad thing is you don't have a whole lot of room in there. You got 29 buck and a half in there. And I talk about as long as the distance between the 618 and the 50, or at least the dollar, then the fib is okay. But I've gotten to a point, even now in monster market movers, if it's not at least $2, I won't show it. If I can't get at least $2 in there, it's just, yeah, it works, but it's too hard to make money on something that's that tight. Now, that means a lot more work for me in filtering out the candidates, but it gave us such a great list this month that's worked amazing for us on months and market movers. So that's what I'd be looking for. Just keep your eye on that 31.65. Let's see, 31 and a half to 34 and a half. That's 3. You don't need a fib in there. So if you could blow through, if you can get to the 31 and a half and get out of half to trade, Kevin, then I'd be looking at the 34 half as your next resistance level. So 34, 33 and a half, somewhere in there would be your target for target number 2. All right. Hope that helps. Let me know down below. Let's see. Linda said Microsoft possible break of the 8 moving average. Let's go take a look at that. MSFT, Mr. Softy. I don't know if people that don't live on the East Coast know what that is. It's an ice cream truck. Ice cream! If you ever saw Eddie Murphy in one of his skits. So right now we're down 77 cents on Microsoft. So the bounce works. The bounce works, right? Linda, you can look for that bounce. You're looking for the move up to 276. Here's my only thing. If I had a choice, the overall pattern, the slope, the angle of that trade is down, right? If I had my choice, I would break down below the 266.83, retest and fail. That would be my choice. Now, if we bounce from here, the 8 and 21, I believe, are close enough, I think. Let's see. You're right there. You're right on that edge, that slight edge. Since we're using yesterday's data, you're there. But if you're more than 25% away from a fib line with your 8 moving average, you're getting into a danger zone of taking that trade. That doesn't mean it won't work. It's just another tool to help me measure. That's a power option plays rule that we use there, right? All right, let's see. So I hope that helps. PK said this morning it was LNTH or LMTH, depending on my writing. Okay. What's it? Yeah, wasn't. Well, let me see. Let me turn this on for a second. I should have it up here. LNTH. Yes, you're right, PK. I knew something like that came up this morning, right? I don't know why it's stuck in my head. It just, the symbol sounded familiar. So it was LNTH that came up this morning. $70 stock, down $1.25 right now. That was from one of the students that asked on that one. Good, Kevin. Glad you liked it. Brenda said, I used to love when Mr. Softy came by our house. Oh, yeah, me too. Brenda said, speaking of danger zone, I got my clock. Awesome. Good. I'm happy to hear it. Thank you for letting me know that. Guys, I think there's one or two of you that are waiting on clocks. We're just waiting for Sean to get back. Excuse me. If I get into the office this week, I'll get them sent out. But we got everything pretty much taken care of last week. There are a handful still left. Most of them did go. So I was very happy to see that. We probably have a dozen or so left in the office. That's about it. At this point, we've not decided to reorder any. So if you have an interest, Amy, can you drop that link in there for the clock? Thank you. Jim said, SPY, FOMC announcement 6:15. Most likely going sideways till this date. My thinking, day trade the SPY during this time. We're most likely going to stay below the 55 EMA to this date. So let me bring SPY up. Then a possible bearish swing trend back down to the 384 level. Okay. Let me see what else. Would you see SPY close below the 80 EMA before entering the long-term trade? No, I would not take a long-term directional trade bearish until we get a close below. We're neutral, which means I could trade it down to that next support level, or bullish, I could trade it up to that next resistance level. Right? So no, I would not, but we're in the same scenario, right? Jim, good plan, by the way, what you wrote in there. Good plan. You look at what's going on right in here, that sideways move. It's just, we've got nothing that's got legs behind it. We just don't. The market is not setting itself up for that type of a move right now. We're not seeing it at all. At all. So, but based on the Fed, their announcement, are they going to raise rates? What's the, and it's not even just the rate increase, right? I think a half comes. I don't think there's much of a doubt to that. I think a half is the next thing they're going to have to do. And again, it's usually where we get too far before we finally react. I think they have to do a half. They said they won't do 3/4. Doesn't mean they really won't, but they said they weren't going to do 3/4, right? But it's more going to come down to, they do that now in June. Are they going to have one more hike before the election? Are they going to stay away from the election, which Fed chairs have tended to do in the past? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It certainly doesn't bode well for one side versus the other if the interest rates are going up, right? Again, it just depends how people are looking at it, right? It's what needs to happen to help curb inflation. But now we get into this panic mode of whoosh, go from 0 to 5% in a year, right? Okay, that's probably not the way to do it. And we've proven that that kind of non-Keynesian attitude doesn't work. You are so right, Robert, 1,000,000%. Okay, so Jim said, thank you, correct, no legs. How much increase is the question? If you're talking to the upside, Jim, I think the way you're asking is where is it going to? 420.76, right? So get me down to the 406.5, get me up. Let me see, let's move this in. See, we're still below that 25, Jim. So we're good. The pullback to 406.5, I'd like to see me get back up to at least 410, then just to get above the 8, right? And somewhere between 417, 420, 419 are going to be my my targets inside of there, right? Somewhere around there. So how much increase will the Fed raise is the question. Okay. Yeah. So I think, quarter is a guarantee. I think a half is a very high level. I think we're somewhere about 70% of getting a half point in there. Right. So, yeah, it depends on what the president does. Exactly. Or what Biden does, whichever way you want to say it. Let's see. Oh, good. Kevin, you got your clock as well. Excellent. I know a bunch came through and Sean went, oh my God. And thank God he's got a big truck because he had to use his truck to haul them all to the post office. We don't ship a whole lot of them out. It's not something that we promote very heavily, right? If someone wants it, great, they're there. If not, great, they're there. Yeah, you got it, Brenda. Whatever you say. All right. So it looks like we're all caught up, folks. So what do we got there? Yeah. Jim said the VIX is somewhat low now. It might start to go back up. So when you look at VIX, right? When you look at VIX, right? Overall, we had a bit of a climb. We got back down in that 14.5, 15 level over the summer, which is awesome if you're a buyer because it makes the cost of your options very low. If you're a seller, it's really bad, right? So for me, that 17, 20 level is kind of a midpoint. It's kind of a, not a midpoint, a happy medium. If you're buyer and seller, which I am, I like to do both, right? To be a seller of positions, credit spreads, are in condors, covered calls, diagonals, things like that. Directional buy calls, buy puts, the lower price works best, right? The higher premium works better, but higher to an extent. You know, you look at Covered Call Explorer last week and our diagonal put spreads, which is a new addition to Covered Call Explorer, our diagonal put spreads are off the charts as far as how expensive they were. One of my trades, my stocks are under $200 in that list. One of those trades were going to cost me $70 for an option to be able to do that trade. Like, y'all nuts. I am not putting $70 in an option in a $200 stock. There's no way. Delete, next, gone, whatever word you want to use. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, Brendan, I mean, VIX is critical. We're at 25.5 right now, right? I don't care about the moving average component of it, right? The lower highs, I do like that. We did have higher lows until we broke down here. But we just had a couple of really nice days that have brought it down, right? But we're starting to vacillate the same way. The VIX, it's an overbought, oversold indicator, right? It was overvalued without a doubt. Without a doubt. Now that volatility is settling in a little bit, the VIX kind of pulls back a little bit. Yeah, it was crazy, man. That really needs. Yeah, now we need shirts. I got them. We just got to figure out the post office is not playing nice with us. They do not want to give us any help on setting up their own app to ship things out off our website. So we're looking into another company to make the shirts for us because we've got them. I've got Power Hour. I've got Market Mornings. We've got about 20 different shirts up there, trading shirts for men, for women. Yeah, we were doing all kinds of stuff. Jim said, what percentage would you put into a $200 stock? 20%, no higher? So I've never really looked at it that way, Jim, of this is my cutoff point. It really comes down to the metrics that are in Covered Call Explorer. So, you know, we got a minute to here. Let me, I just don't know where this is going to open. Hold on. I'm going to stop the share on my screen. Don't go anywhere. I am still here. You can still see me, right? But I just don't know where this is going to open. We got that there. We got that there. Aha, see, I'm glad I did it. All right, so I had a different spreadsheet open that I should have already closed and did not. But let me just go back. All right, let me share again. Okay, there we go. All right, so this is an older version. You know, this goes back to February of this year. All right. So when I look at this position right here, right, let's say ANET, Jim, right? $26 on a $129 stock. You look at it roughly, I just do round numbers in my head, 25%, 25%. Yeah, give or take, right? Well, here's the thing. Is it expensive? Yes. But what are my weeks to break even? My weeks to break even are -8. That means if I'm exercised, I make money on that first week, which is almost unheard of. Almost unheard of, right? So are there better payout positions? I mean, that's 6.61%. On BMY, I could do a much lower dollar amount, right? I'd spend 557. I've got 0.13 weeks to break even. So I'm still underwater slightly, but 7 cents if this goes against me, as you can see right here, right? I'd be underwater 7 cents. Here, I would make 15 cents. So I've got a lot of cost there for that. But then it comes down to how do we measure it out, Jim? I mean, I'm making a buck. Let's see. I'm making $1.90 a week on ANET, right? That's almost $8 a month on ANET. So that pays that option down very quickly. And if I start running this thing up, if it goes from 132, watch this. If I go from 132 and we run this up to, let's say, 134, right? Look at the weeks to break even when it went from -8. If I go to 134, right? Minus 1.13. I mean, we're killing it. We're killing it. And if this continues to rise, right? And this was just a call spread. If this continues to rise and we're selling higher strikes, we're bringing in that same $1.90 because we're the same distance away that we were originally. We can pay this down handsomely. And now somebody exercised me at 134. I get to exercise it at 105, right? 30 points away. See what I'm saying? 105 was my cost right here. If I have to buy it, and the 134 right here, right, is what I get to, someone gets to take it away from me at. So $29, I pay 27. So all of that to say, Jim, it really comes down to looking at the numbers by the position, right? But what I normally look at is anything that's over $25 in cost on a $200 up to $200 stock does not make it to the list. And we're close, right? But you get $30, $40. It's just, listen, I grew up poor and I'm very cheap. Bottom line, okay? Just is what it is. I have a hard time spending money on something that is not justifiable. $40 is not justifiable on a $200 stock for an option for me. So I just wipe them off my list. Cool. Good, Jim. Excellent. Yeah. So Amy, can you drop in the link here? We're getting asked a couple of people about Cover Call Explorer. Can you drop that link in, please? Yeah, I prefer conservative and cheap. There you go, Robert. I like that. Yeah, don't save it. Good point, Jim. Good point. We don't want to save that at all. Thank you for that. Yeah, happy trading you as well, Brenda. So there you go, guys. Amy dropped that in there for Cover Call Explorer. If you're interested, there's a 2-week trial on it. So with that, make it a profitable day. Stay focused on the quest to becoming a great trader. Keep crushing it. And remember, you're just one trade away. Take care, everybody. I will see you all at our next updates. All right. Bye for now.